The Day God Met a False God. A reflection on power, illusion, and the quiet triumph of truth. There are days in history that reshape the world, and then there are days in eternity that reshape the soul. This story belongs to the second kind. It is the tale of what happened when the true God met a false God, a meeting not of equals, but of realities, a gathering on the mountain of claims. The false god arrived first. As with all counterfeits, he came decorated in noise. Thunder he did not command. Fire he did not create. And followers who believed more in the performance than the truth beneath it. His temple was stacked high with offerings, gold, incense, chants repeated so often they had lost their meaning. He sat on his throne of borrowed glory, crowned with the flattery of those who feared him too much to question him. Then God came, not with spectacle, not with trumpets, not with lightning. God arrived the way truth always does, quietly, steadily, confidently, with a presence that fills the space long before the sound reaches the ears. The conversation that wasn't really a conversation. The false god stood tall, trying to look immortal. "Who are you to enter my realm?" he demanded. His voice echoing across the mountain. God did not answer. The question itself was small. Silence settled, heavy, and honest. It was the kind of silence that reveals everything you pretend not to see. The false god continued, voice shaking now. "I have worshippers. I have sacrifices. I have power." And still, God said nothing. Because when a candle boasts of its brightness in the presence of the sun, words are unnecessary. Unmasking without violence. Some imagine that God crushed the false god, that fire fell or thrones shattered. But that's not how truth defeats lies. Instead, God simply was, and in being, he exposed the hollowness of the impostor. The borrowed thunder faded. The fake crown dissolved. The throne cracked under its own emptiness. The followers, once fearful, saw everything clearly. Their fear evaporated like mist, touched by morning light. They realized the false god had never spoken, only echoed their own insecurities back at them. Power built on illusion cannot survive the presence of reality. The collapse of the counterfeit. The false god tried one last tactic, arrogance. "I made them bow to me," he shouted. God finally spoke. "And yet, you bow to their fear." The words landed like truth always does, not violently, but undeniably. The false god trembled, not because God threatened him, but because God didn't need to. The lie collapsed under the weight of its own emptiness, dissolving like a shadow that realizes it cannot exist without light. Why this story matters today. This is not just a mythic encounter between cosmic beings. It is a reflection of what happens inside us. Every human heart is a mountain where true and false gods meet. False gods come in many forms: ego, fear, approval, wealth, status, perfectionism. The image we show the world. They promise power, demand sacrifice, and grow loud when we feed them. But the true God, the voice of truth, love, purpose, and identity, doesn't shout to compete. He simply stands, and in his presence, every counterfeit is revealed for what it is: fragile, temporary, and hollow. The real miracle. The miracle was not the defeat of the false god. The miracle was the freedom of the people once the falsehood faded. When truth enters, lies don't need to be fought. They simply stop working. And that is the day God meets every false god in us. Not through force, but through revelation. Not through domination, but through presence. Not through fear, but through truth.